Hey everyone, welcome to Tuesday with Pastor Dan. Good to have you all joining me. Over the course of this last week or so, or 2 weeks, I've been thinking a lot about storytelling. Maybe it's because I'm constantly reading stories with our little guy. But anyhow, I would not so much storytelling in terms of reading stories or retelling some other story, but telling our stories. When we were in seminary and other places, we talked a lot about speaking our truth or the truth that we've perceived or what we experience and how that's important. And when I was in college and part of the organizations I was part of there, we talked about testimony a lot and testifying to who God is and all those things and what God has done in our lives. And I think that's lost a little traction and is something that's incredibly powerful and important that we do, that we talk about how God has worked in our lives. We tell our stories. We tell our truths. It's kind of like the four gospels. There's four gospels, and they all approach and they say the same thing, and they're talking about the same thing, but they don't tell it the same way. They tell their story, their perspective, all the stuff that they bring to the table in the certain places and times and people. Four different people watch a car accident. They all see the same car accident, but they just tell it from four different viewpoints. Um, but that's the value of it. And so I think that's one of the things that we should be better about, or better about, is that speaking our truth in light of who God is, and speaking it not just having one person up there all the time speaking about who God is and what God's doing, but being able to, in honest conversations, talk about and testify to what God is doing in our lives and telling our stories. And we do it kind of campfire style when we get together. Oh, I had this thing happen, I had this thing. But to do it in different and more full ways, to say, okay, yeah, I had this experience, but to be able to say I had this experience and this is how God was involved, the ability to testify to the truth and to tell our testimonies. And I think that we could engage in that. And the power that's in that is when someone talks about their truth and their experience of God, others can relate. It's not always just this one person, but there's all these people who are able to do that. And we're all able to do that. That's the thing. We as faithful people are all able to do that. So I'm going to keep this one short. May we all be more willing to tell our stories than to speak our truths about God's work in our lives and who we are in light of that. Y'all be blessed. Look forward to seeing you soon.